Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aries May 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as May goes, well, the sun will be in Taurus from the 1st until the 20th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So for Aries at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention put into money, value, self-worth, self-esteem, and in attaining resources, possessions, and done with very strong Taurus-like persistence, done in a very methodical manner, with a lot of latent energy, perhaps, and very and really ponderous energy, really very steady and consistent energy as well. Could be very ponderous in monetary matters at this time, and Aries needs to guard against perhaps becoming overly stubbornly possessive of people and resources and items at this time as well, because when you have it with this kind of energy, of course, there could be a stronger proclivity, propensity toward that. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as May goes, the sun will be in Gemini from the 20th until the 31st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, there could be a strong concentration of energy and attention and focus into matters connected with communications, neighbors, siblings, perhaps people from your early education and short journeys. And this could be done really perhaps with a lot of Gemini-like vivaciousness and animation, really and done really where, I mean, the energy, this concentration of energy could be put into communication, but perhaps a lot of superficial energy and not really staying with certain subjects for a very prolonged period of time. Enjoying perhaps versatility, a lot of concentration of energy and versatility and dexterity, perhaps with matters in your neighborhood, and perhaps variety in terms of places that you may be going as far as short journeys go, and learning really maybe a wide divergence of things, but not really learning them too deeply at this time, and really maybe a lot of loquacious energy into people connected with your early education, and really in talking about a wide divergence of subjects and intellectual stimulation perhaps with those people as well. Now, anyway, well, next thing up is the new moon will be in Taurus on May 15th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So for Aries at this time, this could be a new period of perhaps a financial acumen that may lead, of course, to greater self-esteem and self-worth, and how Aries may feel about his or herself. It could be a period of more financial stability, which could help in that self-esteem and self-worth as well. It could be of generating, maybe starting some money-making endeavor or job where Aries may be generating income connected with a Taurus-like profession, such as doing work as a stockbroker, something in finance, banking, cultivation, perhaps financial advisor, or even doing some kind of general or mundane work. Now, also, too, it could be the purchase of a Taurus-like possession at this time, something connected with creature comforts. Could be something connected with some kind of financial items, such as financial software, perhaps, or something that helps Aries perhaps balance budgets, or something that could be Taurus related. And this could be a new period for Aries, perhaps of valuing persistence, perseverance, and in really being financially astute, and really being connected with one's values at this time as well. And anyway, Well, the next thing up is, well, the full moon will be in Sagittarius on May 29th. So the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be a time for Aries where he or she might become tired, had enough of full, so to speak, exasperated at an overly blunt, overly voracious, perhaps in-law or grandchild, or one that might be somewhat flighty or undependable, foolhardy even. It can be one way this can manifest as well is that this could be, in some cases, a prophetic revelation that might be tied into something ninth house. It could be something connected with an in-law or a grandchild, or maybe something connected with a foreigner, or somebody maybe prominent in your college, university, if you are going to college, something with higher education, something perhaps maybe related to something publishing related. Could also be a lot of this full, expansive and exuberant emotional energy injected into something ninth house related, such as publishing, such as doing something with in-laws and grandchildren, religion, theology. It could be with higher education. And at this time as well, this could also be a time too where Aries might complete a college course that might be Sagittarius related, such as something associated with publishing or even sports, religion, philosophy, perhaps something associated with travel, anyway, or something with a foreign language. Well, anyway, next thing up is Mercury. As far as May goes, Mercury will be in Aries from the 1st until the 13th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, where Aries might come across to others as more loquacious and talkative than usual, with a lot of abrupt, outspoken, and forthright communication. Aries could be very aggressive and assertive in speech at this time, more so than usual, and a lot of perhaps plethora of pioneering ideas even that really come out very strongly at this time. And keep in mind that Mercury is not just about communication. I mean, another thing could be connected with our siblings, even, and this could be a time where you might have more contact with siblings at this time. It could be more aggressive ones as well, and sometimes maybe the communication, I mean, right now could be somewhat combative as well. It might be someone from your early childhood you might be coming into contact with at this time as well. And this communication can be very strong with someone, one or more people from your early childhood as well. And there could be a lot of talk about how you want to, where it's connected with your outlook on life, and maybe in really in making that first impression on others, and really that could be what is how this could manifest. Now the next thing up is, well, as far as May goes, Mercury will be in Taurus from the 13th until the 29th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be about learning different ways perhaps to generate income through like a demonstration video, learning visually. This could also be about maybe thinking methodically and deliberately in regards to values and improving one's self-worth and self-esteem. And also, too, where you can have a very strong mind. Your mind might be very motivated toward generating income, but doing so in a very ponderous and deliberate, methodical fashion at this time. And this could be really about talking really a lot about your values at this time, and really thinking with a lot of premeditation prior to making financial decisions at this time. So anyway, the next thing up is, well, As far as May goes, Mercury will be in Gemini from May 29th to the 31st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, there could be, I mean, you're talking about Mercury in Gemini and you're talking about the third house. So this could be a lot of communication, but a lot of superficial communication, perhaps where you're talking about a wide divergence of subjects, but not really maybe that deeply or really not in a profound way. This could be a time, too, where you might be dealing with a lot of inquisitive and nosy neighbors at this time, bombarding you with a lot of questions, and maybe siblings might be doing this as well, and even people that may have been connected with your early education as well. This could be a time, too, where you really, this could be about a lot of mental stimulation and maybe, and really, where you're really have a desire strongly to assimilate a lot of information and try to do so and process it in a very short period of time. Doing so maybe with people that are prominent in your short journeys, people, siblings, neighbors, people prominent in your early education as well, and maybe you might be doing a lot of talking about things that you did learn at that time from your early education as well, with a lot of quick, maybe concise type conversations. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, as far as May goes, Venus will be in Gemini from the 1st until the 19th. So the third house is what is emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be a lot of enjoyment and love of versatility, dexterity, variety, making money in maybe in manifold ways at this time. That could be in your neighborhood, that could be with siblings, could be with neighbors, and good conversation with these people as well. This could be a love of like playing maybe games that are very that really challenge the mind, such as haiku, or doing something like Sudoku, or anything that any game that you feel that could challenge the mind at this time, and doing so perhaps with people that are in your neighborhood. Now, Venus and Gemini, when this happens, and if Aries is unattached, this could be increase the propensity perhaps of dating two people simultaneously, and they might be superficial loves as well, and it can be somebody that might be in your neighborhood, or people that were introduced to you by a sibling, or people that you just happen to see during your short journeys, just traversing, you know, your general neighborhood. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Venus, as far as May goes, will be in Cancer from the 19th until the 31st. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, this could be really where there could be a strong love of enjoyment of the home at this time, and maybe an introversion as well, reminiscing energy with family members, people you feel close to home with. Also, too, it could be about enjoyment of spending. This could be about, well, let me say, this could be about really about spending money maybe to get in touch with your ancestry, with your roots, such as going on to Ancestry.com and doing so with that Cancerian-like tenacity. This could be about putting a lot of value and money into safety and security for one's end of life period. I'm not saying that Aries is going to die at this time. That's not what I mean at all. But what I'm saying is for really getting that security for that time, for the end of life, such as getting some kind of like retirement plan, for example. So, and this could be where if Aries is unattached, Aries might actually meet, maybe hook up with a Cancer Sun, Moon, or Ascendant that might be, might be somebody that might be introduced to them by a family member, or someone they just simply feel close to home with, or somebody that might just simply embody Cancerian-like characteristics. So anyway, the next thing up is, well, as far as May goes, Mars will be in Capricorn from the 1st until the 16th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be a lot of serious, consistent, and disciplined energy, perhaps injected into one's career, reputation, and public image, even maybe projects with the dominant parent, which is often the father. Also, too, this could be a time for Aries where there might be a more propensity for arguments over things government-related, politics, business. That could be with authority figures even, or maybe even the dominant parent is a possibility. Now, it's also, too, where at this time, looking at this could be really about a lot of the energy to working within the parameters, so to speak, and doing things maybe for your notoriety and your recognition, but doing so by the book, so to speak. So anyway, the next thing up I want to get at is now Mars will be in Aquarius as far as May goes, from the 16th until the 31st. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be a time where there might be more, where the situation with friends and acquaintances might be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. There could be more arguments, maybe over things that are freedom related, independence related, in connection with friends and acquaintances, and maybe even so in groups and organizations you might be connected with. Now, the way this could manifest too, this could be too where you might become angry at some kind of bizarre or idiosyncratic behavior from some group or some friends or acquaintances. There could be unusual arguments with those people as well, but at the same time you might be putting in a lot of this innovative and ingenious energy with these people and things that are 11th house related as well. And it could be putting energy into Aquarius-like matters such as electronics, computers, esoteric subjects, which include astrology, innovation, even astronomy or aerospace, and it might be in a group-oriented manner where you might be using this energy with others and maybe with friends or acquaintances as well at this time. And anyway, well, the next thing up is, Jupiter will still be in Scorpio, of course, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted, and Jupiter and Scorpio will still be retrograde. Now, this could be at a time where, you're talking about Jupiter and Scorpio, it can be about unveiling secrets that are 8th house related. It can be about matters pertaining to an inheritance or an insurance, or even somebody that you're involved in an intimate relationship with. This could also be about luck and fortune, perhaps in a way going beyond subterfuge and superficiality with an intimate or sexual partner, in matters with insurance or maybe an inheritance, that things might not always be what they seem on the surface or superficially. This could be about also too, when Jupiter, you're talking about retrograde, it's a more introspective energy. And it could be more about really revealing and really not showing the strong, exuberant, enthusiastic qualities outwardly. This could also be, the way this could manifest is perhaps revealing a profound, perhaps philosophy you may have regarding transformation and death. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is, Saturn will be in Capricorn still. It will be retrograde, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be about dealing with limitations and restrictions pertaining to one's career, public image perhaps, maybe matters with the dominant parent, which is often the father. It could be in some cases where Aries is taking care of a debilitated or sickly dominant parent, or it might even be somebody that figures prominently in someone's public image or reputation. You wonder, well, what could that be? Well, for example, somebody like if Aries is in a position where he or she has some kind of promoter or somebody that deals with their public image as some kind of agent, that's what I'm referring to as an example. Now, also, too, remember that Saturn's being retrograde. The way that can manifest and work out is that sometimes when you have like Saturn retrograde, people might not always be cognizant of his or her limitations. So it's very important for Aries to remember to take on, things very methodically. If it's something that's career related or trying to handle responsibilities to a dominant parent or an authority figure. And this is, because if you don't, of course, that could lead to overexertion. So, and this could also be about a review over responsibilities to one's career, vocation, reputation, their public image, and matters connected with trying to attain or get some improvement in one's stature in life. So, anyway. Well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Aries as far as May goes from the 1st until the 15th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, Aries might be dealing with a more unusual and unorthodox outlook on life. It might be easy for Aries to express ingenuity at this time, innovation, but at the same time, Aries needs to guard and be wary of perhaps getting some kind of electrical shock at this time, because Uranus energy can be very shocking. It does govern electricity. And even when you're just talking about simple like static electricity, there could be a little greater propensity to even get that at this time. And just general shocking behavior, Aries might be showing a little more at this time than usual. But at the same time, friendships might figure more prominently in one's outlook on life at this time. There might be an unanticipated or unpredicted arrival of somebody from one's early childhood at this time. So, this is just energy that will be, Aries might even change his or her appearance, especially if this is actually hitting the literal first house in one's natal chart. So, anyway, and also on the negative side, though, Aries might even be expressing iconoclastic behavior in some cases, especially if this is making a lot of adverse aspects to points in a natal chart. Say if this is making an adverse aspect to one's Jupiter, that could be an example right there. So, anyway, the next thing up is, at this time, for looking at this now, Uranus will be in Taurus as far as May goes from the 15th until the 31st. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, Aries might be experiencing some unusual persistence and perseverance, an ability to show those qualities in monetary and financial matters. There might be some strong fluctuations and changes in income that might affect self-esteem and self-worth. There might be disruptions to one's monetary situation. Money situation might be kind of going up and down at this time, but this could be about showing certain ingenuity in making and really in generating income, and really valuing ingenuity at this time and originality. And looking at this too, this could be something too where even a Taurus friendship or Taurus-like friendship could really help improve self-esteem and self-worth at this time for Aries, which whether it would be an actual Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply someone that embodies Taurus-like characteristics. Now, anyway, the next thing up is, well, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, Aries might experience some confounding mental illness. It could be a lot of chaos in one's private life. In some real negative manifestation, this could result in some kind of doing alcohol or drugs, which could lead to one's self-undoing. False prophets might be tied into secret sorrows. This could also be about expressing something Neptune, Pisces related in solitude and seclusion, such as something with the metaphysical, mystical, spirituality, photography, chemistry, maybe learning pharmaceutical work, doing something in connection with illusions such as special effects, or working as a magician, something like that. So anyway, and also a lot of self-sacrifice perhaps to those less fortunate, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, and the homeless, and the hungry. So anyway, and also could be in some cases a dissipation and dissolving, sadly, of a private life, or maybe the connection with aunts and or uncles, because remember the 12th house is also about the dominant parents' siblings, which is often, of course, the father's siblings, and which are aunts and uncles to you. So anyway, well, next thing up is, well, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but of course you know I'm going to do it anyway. This could, the way this could manifest, this could be about, in some cases, a literal death of the dominant parent, which is often the father, and it could also, or even somebody that might be in a position of authority over you, or might figure prominently in one's reputation and public image. Now, a lot of times this could also be about just a figurative death and obliteration and destruction, perhaps of one's career. But at the same time, remember that Pluto is about rebirth and regeneration. When something leaves, often something can replace it. So also, it can be about, in some cases, a destruction of one's public image, their reputation. This could be obsessive-compulsive behavior with trying to attain some kind of recognition or notoriety. Also, too, there may be some strong upheavals and power struggles with people that are prominent in one's career at this time. And really, too, the way this could work out is just that really this could give a lot of power to you in terms of things that are 10th house related, as far as whether it's you know, your connection with the dominant parent, which is often the father, and maybe giving you more power in that particular as far as the relationship goes. Which might not always be good, because obviously exuding, you know, too much power might not be good. But in terms of maybe having, having the connection with that given power maybe to that relationship. So or the dominant parent, which is often the dad, I should say, and even power to one's controlling one's reputation and their public image, and matters with their career. So anyway, well, next thing up is, well, the North Node will be in Leo still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, remember that the North Node, when it's in transit, it can often be about issues you have to confront and address. And this could be about confronting perhaps an overbearing, domineering, bombastic, or arrogant child, or a romantic partner at this time, or someone that figures prominently in your creative endeavors or hobbies, even your fun and amusement. This could be, too, the way this could manifest is about maybe trying to get attention, recognition, and be lauded for efforts connected with children, maybe something that you're doing in sports, or it could be what you're doing in terms of your efforts in a love romantic relationship at this time, and even and maybe even having to be maybe more extravagant or spend more money in fifth house matters, whether it's on your fun, amusement, enjoyment, whether it's for a child, or even or a romantic partner, and also expressing maybe more gregariousness and extroversion with people that, or things, people that would be associated with the fifth house. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, the way this could manifest is perhaps for Aries, when you have the Black Moon Lilith, it could often be about an unveiling or a revelation of something, and sometimes could often be very negative. It could be, in this case, perhaps somebody that's prominent in one's career. It could be a dominant parent, authority figure that might be exhibiting some very strong, ruthless, tyrannical, overambitious, and even cold, callous qualities at this time. This could also be about some kind of revelation or unveiling regarding maybe a very limiting or depressing type situation in one's stature in life, in one's career at this time, or even the relationship with the dominant parent, which is often the father. And in some cases too, I mean, the Black Moon Lilith could be about a very strong, formidable adversary, which could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply someone that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. And it could be somebody that, again, that might be prominent in one's career, or might factor into one's reputation or public image strongly, or even it might manifest in being the dominant parent, which is often the father. So anyway, well, last but not least, okay, Chiron will be in Aries, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, this is about, I mean, you're talking about the first house, and Chiron does represent wounds, so this could be about Aries having to deal with actual physical situation. There could be some sorrow and despondency connected with this, of course, such as facial wounds, or wounds, or I should say, it could be cuts, contusions to the head in some cases, in the face, and even headaches Aries might have to deal with at this time. And also too, perhaps someone from the early childhood might actually be a figurative headache, and at this time for Aries, and there could be some emotional wounds and suffering connected with this. Also perhaps about just generally not showing enough enterprise and initiative to maybe start or embark on new beginnings at this time, and maybe in really doing things maybe for the physical body that can improve the physical body, such as working out vigorously. And maybe there might be some lack of assertiveness and aggression, which Aries is paying strong repercussions for at this time, and not showing the fortitude and courage when necessary. And also, you were talking about Chiron. This could be, when you're talking about Chiron and Aries, this could be about unworthiness and feelings of unworthiness. And you're talking about the first house. This could be about regarding the physical appearance, especially if it is the ascendant. Or it could be some kind of unworthiness maybe projected at you from someone you knew from your early childhood that's making you feel somewhat worthless. But remember that at this time, in areas that you're having difficulty with, perhaps in connection with Chiron and Aries and the first house, you could help others out dealing with comparable situations and problems, and do so with a lot of the areas like courage, fortitude, assertiveness, aggressiveness, and courage. So anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aries May 2018 horoscope forecast. stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about astrology and sports celebrities. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.